Hello, all. Good to be with you. I hope I'm clear. Do say hello if you're here. That'll be exciting. If you're not here, don't say hello. The pub opens in 2 weeks. That's fun, isn't it? Those of you who don't know, the Swan will be opening again on the 1st of September. Hello, Andy. Hello, Frankie. How are we? Your answer sheet should be live. For the first one, all you need to do is say which word comes next. That's all you need. There's a missing word. That's all you need to do. Hello, I'm Martin. I can exclusively reveal it's 1-1. Good evening, Roger. How are we? How is your opening going? Is it okay? Hopefully, all the technology will be. Am I audible? Am I because I'm sort of wearing some sort of a microphone, in an attempt to secure a gig as a backing dancer for Janet Jackson. It's every chance of success, I feel. Janet herself is said to be keen. Excellent. Thank you, Martin. Good news, Roger. Excellent. A weird beeping. I don't know what's providing the weird beeping. I mean, I can't just take this out. Is that better? Is that less? Is that clear? I don't know. Is the beeping still happening? I can just take them out, really. Just my mother, who is my obviously my technology consultant, has decided that it's clearer if I wear those earphones when I speak on the telephone. And I thought maybe this will translate to the quiz environment, seeing as the subject is. The beeping is still going. I mean, I'm not aware of there being anything that is beeping. Someone said they could hear beeping yesterday as well, but okay. I won't wear the headgear because, frankly, it's restrictive. I like to spread out. I'm not going to investigate the beeping any further. Oh, does anyone here work for the student finance company? Hello, Ruth. Beep. And if so, and if they do they mind if I criticise their employer? I'm not criticising your work. I'm sure it's flawless. If you do, basically, anyone who works for a student finance company has got 5 minutes to speak up, and if not, hell to pay. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Ruth. How are we? I trust we are well. And happy birthday, John, for yesterday. John was 73 yesterday. He's the oldest music reviewer in town. He's not even the oldest music reviewer in his team, is he? Let's be honest. um, one team has answered a picture wrong, but they have displayed an odd knowledge of famous people with whom I've had a pint, which is impressive. In fact, it's not impressive until it's unnerving. It's unsettled me. Is that what you wanted? I apologise for the beeping. I can't do anything about it. I don't know if there's beeping. I don't hear any beeping. This is it's awful. Yes, carry on. Your pictures should be open. Don't do the music, if you don't mind. I'm sorry about last week. It's not a new laptop, frankly. It's an old laptop, but well, the problem was that an automatic Windows update. Anyone who says don't use Windows, please don't. Made my driver for my whatever terrible sound card is in here incompatible, and so I had to use the default Microsoft one, which is fine, other than apparently it beeps, which is unexpected. I'm going to start, unless there were fierce protestations, I'm going to start reading the questions um, in 5 minutes. When lockdown is over and when the pub is open, Paul's asked me to do the quiz in the pub. So, and I know, and I'm not telling you what to do. But what I'm probably going to do is do like a video of this nature, but just record myself doing the questions, and then you can play along at home should you not wish to come to the pub and watch the video. And I'll time it so it's the same sort of time as it would be in the pub, and then you can be included in the leaderboard if you wish. I don't know if no one wants to do it, no one wants to do it. So it will be in the pub as of the 2nd of September. As things stand, who knows? Obviously, I could be stricken by disease. And then so we'll try and do it as best we can. I'll try and record the video so that can go up and people can play along as it's happening. Obviously, if there's zero interest in that, I won't. But just as I understand, some of you don't live near the Swan, and some of you may not be willing to come out, or some of you may just prefer just to look at a picture of me in the privacy of your own home, rather than actually run the risk of meeting or something like that. So it's up to you. We'll see what happens. I would like to stream myself on the pub doing it live, but as we know, the Swan Wi-Fi is made out of potatoes. Doesn't work very well sometimes. So I'm joking. Roger, are you experiencing difficulty? Because I've noticed there is a team called Roger Thorpe. Twice having registered in a variety of combinations. Is that Ecuador? That flag, the first one, and Algeria, I think. But you're from neither of those countries, are you, Roger? Okay. And we're going to start quite soon, like in 2 minutes. Yeah, I know you're right. Yeah, it's just the flags you had chosen, Roger. That is all. I didn't think you were actually in Ecuador. You may have been. I mean, I didn't think you were. Shut up, Tom. Okay. You were in Ecuador in 1886. Excellent. that is slightly thematically linked to one of the answers today, precisely. Okay, I do worry about the quality of the stream, because something is quite low. But never mind. Let's carry on. Let's begin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin. As you've done your pictures, with question 16. When I'm meant to ask the question, I shall hold up this class's case, ladies and gentlemen. Question 16 is on TV. There's a castle off the coast of Charente-Maritime, France, that was started by Napoleon. Constructed this castle, started under Napoleon. And since 1990, it's been the setting for the main and various international versions of which TV programme a sort of castle in the sea off the coast of Charente-Maritime, started by Napoleon, which has, since 1990, been the setting for main and international versions of which TV programme. Question 2, ladies and gentlemen, is on sport and shopping. Very straightforward question. The question is, what's the only colour of Olympic ring which is not also found in the eBay logo? The only colour of the Olympic rings is not one of the main colours in the eBay logo. Which colour is that? Question 18, ladies and gentlemen, is on religion. John Sentamu. John Sentamu. John Sentamu. John Sentamu. That's John Sentamu, formerly of Bishopthorpe, who is no longer, ladies and gentlemen, the Archbishop of York, having been replaced by which man? Which man replaced John Sentamu as the Archbishop of York recently? What's his name? Interesting beeping information. I wonder if it's some sort of interference. Oh, no, I'm guessing. I've no idea. The Archbishop was in the chippy. Well, I never. What does he order? It's not even Friday. Well, he's not Catholic, is it? But that's fine. Was he just doing that to brag? Look at me, I can order fish on whichever day I like. Question 19 is on films and writers, ladies and gentlemen, because, it can get glum in lockdown, can't people can start feeling dour, you can feel you're just fed up, really. So I fancied cheering myself up. To do that, ladies and gentlemen, I sat down and watched some uplifting films such as All the Pretty Horses, No Country for Old Men, and The Road, all of which are based on the novels by which man? All the Pretty Horses, No Country for Old Men, and The Road, based on novels by which man? Oh, the new one, right? Yeah. Was he wearing his hat? Apparently, I've been beeping for some time. Thank you, Harry. I don't. It must be the sound thing, mustn't it? I apologise for the beeping. I can do nothing about it. This is going to be a beep fest. Oh, that will be it. Yes, so my high pitched. I've got a mezzo soprano vibrator, Roger. That's what it is. Yeah, constantly on the go, 24/7. It is exhausting. It's more exhausting for the kids on the treadmill keeping it going. But yeah, that's fine. Can we move on? Yeah, sounds good. Question 20 is on currency, ladies and gentlemen, and one surefire way to impress and enthrall youngsters is to sit them down long and hard in the eye and launch into a discussion with them about pre-decimal currency. They can't get enough of it, especially, of course, the 2 shilling piece. And of course, pre-decimal 2 shilling pieces were for a long time in currency in use in the decimal age with an adjusted value of what? An old 2 shilling piece was used post-decimalisation as legal tender. What was its value in the decimal age, the 2 shilling piece? Has Rupert turned up, by the way? That's just for one. Not everyone needs to answer that. Some of you won't be expecting a Rupert. Question 21, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, I had, of course, intended last week to ask you a question based on the Bockwurst clavier, a beautiful sausage-based piano, but I couldn't possibly keep that information to myself for a whole week, so that question has been shelved. Let us hope that this is meaty music to your ears instead. Which sausage, ladies and gentlemen, with a name derived from the Middle Italian for pig's brains, which, according to Wikipedia, are typically pork 58%, that's low, 58% water, rust, pork fat, potato starch, salt, emulsifiers, your standard tetrasodium diphosphate and disodium diphosphate, white pepper, spices, dried sage, in brackets, sage, preservatives, that's sodium nitrite, potassium nitrate, and beef collagen casing, and mostly eaten with chips. One is consumed in the Dickens novel The Pickwick Papers, and by Fagin in Oliver Twist. It also makes its way into lyrics for Food, Glorious Food from the Oliver musical. One is purchased but given away in the film Withnail and I. It's also popular in the state of Maine, where it is known as a red snapper, and in a song by the comedian Alex Horn is a beloved item of the Olympic cyclist Chris Hoy. What sausage is this, ladies and gentlemen? Fucking Rupert. And so a sausage with a name derived from the Italian for pig's brains, which according to Wikipedia, are typically pork, lots of other ingredients, water, sage, white pepper and sage, and spices, which is a bit vague. And mostly eaten with chips. There's one eaten in the Pickwick Papers, one eaten by Fagin in Oliver Twist. The name of this sausage is also in the lyrics for Food, Glorious Food in Oliver. One is purchased but given away in Withnail and I by I. It's known as a red snapper sausage in Maine, and according to a song by the comedian Alex Horn, it is a beloved item of the Olympic cyclist Chris Hoy. What sausage is this? Question 22. What I'm going to do now is give you a series of 10 seemingly disconnected things, which are in fact, upon closer scrutiny by avid home-based scrutineers like yourself, conjoined by a single unifying theme. All you need to do is tell me what that theme is. So, what links the following things or people? And I apologise for the last clue. Irving Johnson, a European vodka brand. Anne and Nancy Wilson, an 1867 work by Karl Marx, a brand of fruit juice with the Minute Maid branding. TV characters Dorothy Martin, Maddie Magellan, and Kate Salinger in 3 different series. In mathematics, a mu of 0, which is only possible theoretically, where mu is the coefficient of friction. Paintings by Munch and Klimt, or sculpture by Rodin. A European country, the capital of the same name, sort of. And competition for rotational force. So I'll list all those things. Irving Johnson, European vodka brand. Anne and Nancy Wilson. An 1867 work by Karl Marx. A fruit juice brand made by the Minute Maid Company. TV characters Dorothy Martin or Dorothy Bishop, to change her surname. Maddie Magellan and Kate Salinger. In mathematics, a mu or coefficient of friction of 0, only possible theoretically. Paintings by Munch and Klimt, or sculpture by Rodin. A European country with a capital of the same name. Or recreational or competitive rotational force. What links those things? Just bear with me briefly, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Emma, let me tell you, it's not. I'm sorry. I've let everyone down. But what I will do, just to mention it because Emma likes it, is just to remind you that the book and the film, The Last of the Mohicans, is very good, and I approve. Anyway, sorry. 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Gird your loins. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Picture yourself in a plight, and that plight is that you find yourself stranded on the banks of the River Itchen, utterly bereft of lace. What to do? Well, let's try this, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare yourself to the northern outskirts of Southampton at Swaithling. Let's set sail for Totton, Ashurst, Lyndhurst, Christchurch, what's in New Zealand, nice dry Wikipedia, then through the suburbs of Bournemouth and Poole, which aren't anywhere near as nice as you'd expect them to be, Upton, then through the only stretch of road named after teenage boys sticking their bed sheets in the washing machine after excitable night, the Puddletown bypass, then through Dorchester, Bridport, where my university friend Rebecca Hobby was from, Charmouth, Axminster, Underlay, fictional, and then, ladies and gentlemen, finally, the Lacy Haven of Honiton. Which A road follows that path, ladies and gentlemen? Just north of Southampton, goes north and then west for Swaithling, Totton, Ashurst, Lyndhurst, Christchurch, then through the suburbs of Bournemouth and Poole. Used to go through the middle, but now it goes through the suburbs. I read that today. Upton, the Puddletown bypass, through Dorchester, Bridport, Charmouth, Axminster, finally coming to rest in the crafty environ of Honiton. Which two-digit A road is that? An A and two numbers. Question 24 is on, it says here, rhyming boat, which is just about, okay, the film The Aviator, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen the film The Aviator, Howard Hughes, of course, The Aviator, and he had, funded and built and attempted to use a prototype flying boat, ladies and gentlemen, that had a two-word name, where the two words rhyme with each other. What is the name of that prototypical flying boat funded, attempted to be used by Howard Hughes from the film The Aviator? What was the name of that boat? A prototypical flying boat. Question 25 is on abbreviations for what? Ladies and gentlemen, often used to maybe describe or augment a reaction you've had to something, often accompanied by a picture. Does the internet abbreviation MFW stand? What does the internet abbreviation MFW stand? Often used to explain or augment a reaction that you have had to something accompanied by a picture. Quite often, the internet abbreviation MFW. What does that stand for? I'll tell you now, it is all clean. All three of those words are clean words. Question 26 is on TV and films. This is very straightforward as well. The Father Ted episode, featuring Father Dougal driving a Craggy Island Creamery milk float. It's a parody of which smash hit film from 1994? The Father Ted episode featuring Father Dougal behind the wheel of a Craggy Island Creamery milk float. It's a parody of which smash hit film of 1994? Question 27 is on sport, legend. By what two-word alliterative name is the failure of any first-time champion to defend the World Snooker Championship known? Most recent to succumb to it being Judd Trump, defeated in the quarterfinals by eventual runner-up Kyron Wilson, who, next time you look at him, do bear in mind that he looks exactly like he's made up of like 25% David Brent and 75% Finchy from The Office. That's Kyron Wilson. The two-word alliterative name given to the failure of any first-time champion to defend the World Snooker Championship. How is that known? The two-word alliterative name given to that failure. The most recent to succumb to it was Judd Trump, who lost in the quarterfinals of this year's World Championship. One name is given to that failure of any first-time champion to defend it. And two-word, alliterative name. Question 28 is on toys, ladies and gentlemen. How, collectively, in the name of a toy, are characters Henry, Homer, Happy, and Harry better known? They have been renamed since, and in some markets they're not. They still retain those names. Henry, Homer, Happy, and Harry, collectively known as what in the title of a much-loved children's toy? Question 29 is on actors. If Johnny Lee Miller was the first, and Brad Pitt the third and most recent, who, between 2000 and 2003, was the second? So, Johnny Lee Miller was the first, and Brad Pitt the third and most recent, who was the second between the years 2000 and 2003. I need the person, not what that is. Good. Question 30 is on geography. London, Glasgow, Belfast, Peterborough, Liverpool, Newport, and Durham, not the world's most circuitous two-digit A road of all time, but in fact the locations of what within the United Kingdom? London, Glasgow, Belfast, Peterborough, Liverpool, Newport, and Durham. Locations of what within the United Kingdom? The next 10 answers, ladies and gentlemen, very straightforwardly. All you need to do is, according to the YouGov poll, it's again a poll of the most highly thought of. So their reputation, if you like, highly thought of. Not the most highest sales or anything like that. So the most 10 highly thought of car brands in the UK. So just the maker of the car. So, for example, Skoda would be an example. It's not one of the correct answers. The 10 most highly thought of car brands in the UK, one in each of the next 10 spaces. I'm going to give you until 21:08 before we carry on with the question. So that's 5 minutes. The 10 most highly thought of car brands, that's 31 to 40, one in each space. They're not necessarily UK brands, by the way. Don't put the model of a car. We just need the maker. Okay? So not the model. Just the brand, just the badge basically on the car. That's all you need. No. So not the model. Okay. Yeah, with the best reputation, if you like, Harry. That's what the question is. Which of these do you? What is your overall impression of this brand and the ones that have the highest approval rating in that regard? No problem. I'm giving you a couple of minutes to do that. Couple more minutes to fill those in. Okay. Here's some proper questions. Question 41, ladies and gentlemen. There's a well-known clip from a TV show, a children's TV show from a few years ago. It featured a marmot as like a ground squirrel, being voiced by Jason Manford, which appeared and was overdubbed to be appearing saying the words Alan, 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 and Steve, similar, but with Steve, repeatedly. What was the name of this children's TV program featuring a marmot saying the word Alan repeatedly and then Steve repeatedly? What was this from? It overdubbed human speech onto footage of wildlife, basically. What was the name of that program? It was written by, amongst others, Jason Manford, Alex Horn, again, he did some of it, and many others. What was the name of that program? Ladies and gentlemen, Rupert is here. Spiritu Santo. Question 42 is on films. That's sort of TV and films, I guess, but films really. Michael Jackson disguised as a scarecrow, not a particularly ominous feature of the Neverland petting zoo. In fact, a major part of which updated film version of The Wizard of Oz? What was the name of the sort of updated film version of The Wizard of Oz, which featured, amongst other stars, Michael Jackson disguised as a scarecrow, or playing a scarecrow? What was the name of that? The updated version of The Wizard of Oz, which featured Michael Jackson, the scarecrow. What was it called? Question 43 is on geography. What is the name of the archipelago off the southern tip of South America, divided between Chile and Argentina, and containing such landmasses as Cape Horn, inappropriately cited considering it's a landmass? The archipelago off the southern tip of South America, divided by Chile and Argentina, which contains, amongst other things, Cape Horn. Legend. What is the name of that archipelago? Question 44 is on video games. The first in this series was released in 1981 as a more stealth-based game, but less stealthy sequels with entries called, name of game, Beyond 3D, The Spear of Destiny, Return to, Enemy Territory, RPG, The New Order, The Old Blood, and The New Colossus. Which video game series features, in some games, in many games, William B.J. Blazkowicz fighting hordes of Nazis and worse, often in and around the series' namesake building? What is that video game series? First released in 1981 as a stealth-based game, and many sequels, entries with subtitles Beyond 3D, The Spear of Destiny, that's an unusual one, Return to, blank, Enemy Territory, blank, RPG, blank, The New Order, blank, The Old Blood, and blank, The New Colossus. Video game series featuring William B.J. Blazkowicz often fighting hordes of Nazis and worse, in and around at times the series' namesake building. What is that series? Just one word is fine. And you should know which word it is. The longest word. Question 45 is on sport, ladies and gentlemen. Which racetrack, has previously hosted Grand Prix under the name of the German Grand Prix? Good, it's in Germany. Good start. The European Grand Prix? Good, it's in Europe. The Luxembourg Grand Prix? No. It's not in Luxembourg, it's in Germany. We established that. And in October, is due to host the Eiffel Grand Prix. Sounds like another error. No, it's in France, but no. It's in fact named after the Eiffel Mountains, which are nearby. Which racecourse is that? Previously hosted the German, European, and Luxembourg Grand Prix, which is 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And is in October due to host the Eiffel Grand Prix, named not after the tower or indeed designer thereof, but in fact a nearby mountain range, the Eiffel Mountain. Which race course is that? No, race track, sorry, not course. Question 46 is on soldiers. Who, which I've written in bold for no reason, so I'm meant to pronounce it as if it's emboldened. Who was inducted into the US Army at Fort Chaffee in Arkansas on March the 24th, 1958, serial number 533-10761. He served not in Vietnam, as is often thought, but in West Germany with the 3rd Armoured Division and was honourably discharged a little under 2 years later with the rank of sergeant. Who was that man? Well-known soldier, inducted into the US Army at Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, March 24th, 1958, with serial number 533-10761. Of course, 5537, etc. would have been better, but never mind. He served in West Germany, not Vietnam, as is sometimes thought, within the 3rd Armoured Division, was honourably discharged a little under 2 years later, and given the rank of sergeant. Who is that well-known person? Question 47 is on middle names. Which man born with a middle name that is Greek in origin took the unusual step of translating it into Latin for no real reason? But that Latinized version of his middle name provided the title of a classic film, telling a portion of his life story. The man is commonly known just by his surname. What is that surname? So a man who was born with a middle name of Greek origin, or one of his middle names was Greek origin, decided to change that into the Latin translation of that name. That middle name provided the title of the film, telling some of his life story. He's normally known, however, by his surname. What is that surname? Question 48 is on films. Which series of horror films, which I have zero interest in watching, does the antagonist wear a mask that is actually a mask of Captain Kirk from Star Trek? What series of films is that? A series of horror films where the antagonist wears a mask which is meant to be, or was originally, a mask of Captain Kirk from Star Trek. Which film series is that? Question 49 is on castles, ladies and gentlemen. What is the name of the castle by the River Boyne in Ireland, home to the Conyngham family, which has played home to major concerts by the likes of Metallica, U2, the Rolling Stones, etc., etc., etc. Dylan played there. The castle, the band to the River Boyne and home to the Conyngham family, which is a major music venue for special event concerts such as those held by Metallica, U2, and the Homecoming Kid, the Rolling Stones, in their 90th birthday gig. What's the name of that castle? Give you a clue. The second word in its name is castle. Helpful. And I'm going to be strict. I'm not. Just, no, I can't be bothered. There's one word I'm not going to accept as an answer. Well, there's many words I'm not going to accept as an answer, but one that might seem close enough because you actually think of a different thing. I presume. Some good scores tonight, by the way. You should be proud. Question 50 is on TV adverts, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to political leaders who may end up with different legacies. You can't say much fairer than Donald Trump and Mikhail Gorbachev. Maybe one lacks the gravity of the other, I don't know. However, both these people advertised the same restaurant chain in the 1990s. The company was founded in Wichita, Kansas. Trump said to Ivana, actually, you're only entitled to half. Hilarious. And Gorbachev overheard other diners discussing the merits of perestroika whilst he dined. Which restaurant chain is that? It was founded in Wichita, Kansas, which may have come up in the quiz from time to time, especially afterwards. It's advertised by Trump and Gorbachev. Trump, in his advert, said to Ivana, actually, you're only entitled to half. And Gorbachev overheard other diners discussing the merits of perestroika. Which restaurant chain is that? Okay, question 51. Some of you may have seen the quiz that I recently wrote about the worst humans in the world. Here's my having a conversation with someone who's in that list, ladies and gentlemen. Here's just a list of problems with them. All you need to do is tell me who this person is. They look like a sail of a ship that someone's drawn the face near the middle of, but not realised how big the sail was. So they have massive EFS. They're a massive show pony. They're a massive bully. They don't actually have any cheeks anymore. If you look at their face, just they've been moved to their forehead. There's absolutely no sense of humour whatsoever. Despite how famous they are, no one's 100% certain how to spell your surname. I watched a video of you recently in which you were eating chocolate pudding whilst FaceTiming Jason Derulo, which is real and made me want the entire world to implode, creating such an area of inward pull, the only thing that's dense enough to be escaped will be you and your ego. Oh, and here's a quick picture from Wikipedia of your football career. What does that say? 404 error, football career not found, you massive fucking charlatan. Who's that, ladies and gentlemen? With who was I briefly in conversation then? Which famous person? I'm not reading that again. That's not very nice, is it? Come on. Question 52 is on sport, and the sport which is, of course, the best sport, which is Test match cricket, and that aspect of Test match cricket, which is the best aspect of Test match cricket, which is massively successful England bowling. Which West Indian cricketer was both the 500th victim of James Anderson when he took his 500th Test match wicket, and, earlier this year, also the 500th victim of Stuart Broad when he took his 500th Test match wicket? Which West Indian batsman was the 500th victim of both James Anderson and Stuart Broad, ladies and gentlemen? Hi, Meg. Why are you doing an impression of one of those Budweiser frauds? Why would you do that? There are answers to that question, but it's not really appropriate to give them as answers now. But come on, sort yourself out. Disgusting. So fucking disgusting. Question 53 is on films, ladies and gentlemen. The official entries in the James Bond series of films, that is all of them except Never Say Never Again and the other Casino Royale with David Niven and Woody Allen and all those people in it, are known as the Blank series, the Blank production series, if you like, where the blank is a period of time and also the name of the production company responsible for the film. So the official canonical entries in the James Bond series, which is all of them except Never Say Never Again, the original Casino Royale with David Niven, they're known as the Blank series of films, where blank is both a period of time, irrelevant, but also the name of the production company responsible for that main series of officially licensed films. What is that company and the name of that series? Is Roger out of control? I mean, he's featuring a lot in the answers. With, I think, what may be a degree of exuberance. Has it become exuberant? The drink has been taken, Roger. Question 54 is on TV and my pet subjects. It's very straightforward. In the UK, it's Alan Sugar. In the USA, it was Donald Trump, and then it was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Which natural resources magnate and favourite of mine presents it in South Africa? Who is the host of the South? I might as well just say what it is. Your natural resources magnate, who's the host of the South African version of The Apprentice. Who is it? One of my favourite people. No, I like him more than that person. And question 55, last question in this round, is on music. Which word of 5 letters or more, that's one word, 5 letters or more, has appeared in the title of hit singles by all of the following artists? Oasis, Prince, Bob Dylan, Foo Fighters, The Kinks, and Chic. One word, 5 letters or more, that's appeared in the title of hit singles by Oasis, Prince, Bob Dylan, The Foo Fighters, The Kinks, and Chic. What is that word? Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you can start the music round now. So that's next 20. Make sure you get the artist, the song title in the right spaces, please. There's artist, then song title. So even numbers are the artist, odd numbers, the title. Don't do the pointless ones. So leave the last 4 blank. I'm going to give you until 10 o'clock. So that's 23 minutes to do that. Away we go. Good boozing, Roger. Good booze choice. Hailing inoffensive. It's the way forward. You have 15 minutes. 10 minutes remain. Eight minutes. I can. Hello. The Evans, is that Kathy? So 47. The Evans, the middle names. Which man? Oh, is it Gareth? Hello, Gareth, subscriber. Which man who's born with a middle name of Greek origin later in his life translated it into its Latin equivalent? That Latin equivalent provided the title of a classic film, telling some of his life story. The man, however, is more often known by just his surname. What is that name? Is that okay? It's a bit complicated as a question, I understand that. Okay, 3 minutes. Y'all. I shouldn't say y'all, should I? A surprising 41 years old. It's a terrible job of shaving as well. Well, not like a clean shave, obviously, that'd be awful, but. Okay, 1 minute. Don't forget artist then song title, yeah? Okay. So, 76, 77, and 78 are your 3 pointless questions. There are 3 questions to answer. You need to give me obscure answers that none of my friends said. Okay, I gave 100 of my friends 100 seconds to name as many in 3 different categories. Those 3 different categories are, okay, any team who has ever beaten Scotland at football, the name of any song which is a UK number 1 that has a number in the title, or any American city with more than 300,000 people. Those figures are taken from the 2019 estimates on Wikipedia, okay? So the point of the sentence, any team who's ever beaten Scotland at football, any UK number 1 hit with a number in the title, or any US city of more than 300,000 people. You can answer the same one 3 times. Put the same answer 3 times if you want. Your tiebreak question is, how big in square meters is the world's largest ever crocheted blanket? Okay, in square meters, how large is the world's largest ever crocheted blanket? When you've completely finished, and I'm going to give you until 10 past 10 to finish all your answers off and everything, okay? I want you to tick save, tick those 3 boxes and finish, but only when you've done them all. The tiebreaker will only be used to break ties unless someone gets it spot on, in which case they'll get a point. Okay? I'm not counting first as a number, it has to be the actual number. Okay? Good. So 5 minutes left to finalise all your answers. Don't forget, when you have finished them, click save, check all your answers, make sure you put them all in the right spaces, click save, tick 3 boxes, and then finish, okay? And you've got 5 minutes to do that. Very good. We've had 3 pointless answers thus far. 3 minutes, y'all. Oh, has anyone messaged me in the video? I haven't looked at it for ages. No. Hello. Two minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes. Don't forget, finalise your answers, click save, tick the 3 boxes, and then click finish. Well done to whoever just worked out what proscribed meant. It should be fine, man. It automatically picks it up. It's just like if you save it, it just has an extra check. Okay, 1 minute left, all. Another pointless answer. We've got some good scores this week, some very good scores, I think. There's one score in particular is phenomenally good. So we have a lockdown record, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, 1 minute to go. Is that it? Everyone has submitted, I think. No, just waiting for Dance to pull to finalise. All done. Right, I'm going to end the quiz, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll get on with the answers. Okay. The first one was, of course, Friends, Roman country. So men is what I was looking for. Some people don't know it wrong and put lend. And I've said, do you understand what it was? Friends, Romans, countrymen. That's really hilarious. Question 2 is Gavin Williamson. Question 3, Wesley Snipes. Question 4, that's the career of Jermaine Pennant, ladies and gentlemen. Number 5 is Julian Barrett. Number 6 is Dr. Raj Persaud. 7 is Adam Levine. Or Levine. I don't know. Levine. 8 is Sam Fender. 9 is Fingers on Buzzers. 10 is The Walkie-Talkie. 11 is the person for Stand By Me. What? Everyone got that? I would never have got that. You're amazing. 12 was Sam Cohen, unlucky if you put Tom Cohen. 13 is Joe Rogan, who's dreadful. 14 goes by the excellent name of Chip Gunt. 15, Band on the Run. On to the pop question. 16, the TV cast was Fort Boyard. 17, Black is the colour of the ring. The new Archbishop of Canterbury, Stephen Cottrell. Cormac McCarthy Right, those books, the 2 shillings. Well, shilling was a 20th of a pound, you see, so it remained a 20th of a pound, 1 shilling. So 2 shillings, 10th of a pound, which is 10 pence. Ladies and gentlemen, 10 pence. 21, that is, of course, the Savoy. 22, Irving Johnson is Magic Johnson. The European vodka brand was Absolute. Anne and Nancy Wilson, the singers in Heart, the band. The 1867 Karl Marx work is Das Kapital. The fruit juice is 5 Alive, which isn't a very good clue. TV characters Dorothy Martin, Maddie Magellan, and Kate Salinger were all played by Caroline Quentin. In mathematics, a mu of 0 indicates there is 0 friction, which means the surface is completely smooth. Munch and Klimt and Rodin all did works of art called The Kiss. The European country with the capital of the same name is Luxembourg. And the recreational or competitive rotational force is, of course, Talk Sport, ladies and gentlemen. They're all radio stations, of course. 23, it's the A35, ladies and gentlemen. The A35. 34, that was called the Spruce Goose. 25, MFW stands for My Face When. 26, it was a spoof of Speed. 27, The Crucible Curse, ladies and gentlemen, that's known as the Crucible Curse. 28, The Hungry Hungry Hippos, or Hungry Hippos. 29, Billy Bob Thornton, of course, Marta Angelina Jolie. 30, that's where the passport offices are in those places. 31 to 40, your brands were Rolls-Royce, Jaguar, Aston Martin, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, Ford, Bentley, Porsche, Mini, and Volkswagen. 41, the children's TV show with Alan. Alan was Walk on the Wild Side, that was called. Well, I don't know if you got that right. 42, The Wiz. Is that film? 43, Tierra del Fuego. The Archipelago. 44, Wolfenstein. Castle Wolfenstein and all that. 45, The Nürburgring, and some very, very odd attempts to spell that. 46, the soldier is Elvis Presley. 47, born Wolfgang Theophilus Mozart. Of course, changed it to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. It's Mozart. 48, Halloween. Film series there. 49, Slane Castle. Castle there. 50, Pizza Hut. Of course, 51, that was Gordon Ramsay. 52, the impossibly spelled Craig Brathwaite. 53, Eon Productions, responsible for those films. 54, come on, play the man, ladies and gentlemen. The natural resources magnate and friend of Sepp Blatter, who is the presenter of the South African Apprentice, is, of course, Tokyo Sex Whale. Come on. 55, Times, of course, the Hindu Times, Oasis, Sign of the Times, by Prince the Times, they are a-changing. Doing times like these, but where have all the good times gone? Kinson, Good Times by Chic. On to the music round, point for each, 56 was Lulu, that little idiot, with The Boat That I Row. Next one was Joe Jackson, with It's Different for Girls. Then it was The with This Is the Day, which is great. Then it was Sash, exclamation mark. Feat Tina Cousins, with Mysterious Times. Then it was the Foo Fighters again with The Pretender. Then it was Crosby, Stills and Nash, not young, but with Teach Your Children. Then the Ramones with Baby I Love You. Then Michael Sembello with Maniac. The World Party with Is It Like Today. And Mike Posner with Cooler Than Me. Your pointless answers. The countries who have beaten Scotland at football, who nobody said, there have obviously more, are Belarus, East Germany, Egypt, whom Scotland have never beaten, Kazakhstan, whom Scotland have never beaten, North Macedonia, Paraguay, whom Scotland have never beaten, Slovakia, and Nigeria, whom Scotland have never beaten. Your songs were Frank Sinatra's 3 coins in the fountain. Something called One Night. Can't remember who that's by. Only 16. Someone Douglas, wasn't it? Knock 3 times, amazingly. December 1963. What a night. That's what it's called. One Day at a Time. Goody Two Shoes. Difficult one. The 5 Live EP by Queen, George Michael and Lisa Stansfield. I Want to Be the Only One, Eternal Feet, B.B. Winans. 9 p.m. Till I Come by ATB. Bound for Da Reload by Oxide and Neutrino. The Cha-Cha Slide Part 2. Well done if you got that. 3 a.m., which is the double A-side with the Thunderbird song by Busted. Need You 100% by Duke Dumont. And 7 Rings, Ariana Grande. And your cities were Stockton, California, Henderson, Nevada, Lexington, Kentucky, well, I don't know if you got that, Corpus Christi, Texas, Aurora, Colorado, Wichita, Kansas, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Mesa, Arizona, and amazingly, Jacksonville, Florida. And the world's largest ever crocheted blanket is 11,148.5 square meters. Your leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, everyone got over 40. So PC Gull and the Rattlers with 41, then Melancholy, good, and Amy and Dave equal with 45. The Dance to Pull Otters in 6th with very respectable 46. The Kurt Zoomers, 5th with 47. And then 4th, top of the mid-table, the Rupert, who performed, a mixed performance, with 48. Then we leap a bit. In 3rd place with 54, other team No Effing Pub. In 2nd place with a score of 58, which would be very, very competitive most weeks, the Swan Bitches. And in 1st place, with an impossibly good 68 out of 79, ladies and gentlemen, are the Chords. Well done. Wild applause. There'll be another quiz next week, which will be the last one in this sort of format. So I hope to see all of you then. Thank you all for taking part. And good night. Bye. Cool. End stream.